Hello, welcome to my channel. This is AH for Truth. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think about my thoughts. Also, if you're new to crypto, grab the book in the description, Crypto Made Easy. It'll be a blessing to you. So what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about one thing that I believe will hinder many people who have observed or have been observing what I believe is the greatest wealth transfer in human history. I think it is. I could be wrong, right? Since I don't know all of history. But I think one big thing that will make people miss it is the criticism, thoughtless criticism that arises out of envy, bitterness, or whatever. And I'll say this, okay? So recently, there was this announcement that Ripple had made an investment in Evernorth. Now, Evernorth will be for Ripple, right? Or would I say Evernorth will do for the XRP digital asset what MicroStrategies, okay, did for Bitcoin. The way that MicroStrategies basically brought Bitcoin into Wall Street, into NASDAQ, into the would I say financial markets, right? And Bitcoin became basically what it is today. Is the same thing that would happen with Evernorth, led by Ashish Birla, who used to work with Ripple. Well, basically, Ripple is becoming what we've always said it will be, which is a global commander in the area of digital assets. I believe that it is the next Bitcoin. And I wouldn't even say that. I just think they're all in a class of themselves. So I was reading comments, and there was one comment that stuck out to me, and that is somebody was saying, so basically the amount of contributions that came to begin Evernorth, right? One of the major contributors is Chris Larsen, who is the chairman of Ripple. And of course, he's a very wealthy billionaire, right? And if he may be one of the people that will become a trillionaire, from crypto, from digital assets, in the next little while. That's what I think. That's what I believe. Now, people criticize his holding in Ripple and all of that, and I get it. I get it. But so I read a comment, and somebody said, well, the 50 million XRP he donated, was it $50 million or 50 million XRP? Somebody tell me what I'm getting wrong in the comment, but I know it was I think it was 50 million XRP. Now, somebody said, well, it didn't cost him anything. It didn't cost him anything. And the way the comment went on, the fellow was like, it just sounded like, yeah, it's just garbage. Well, it didn't cost him anything. Remember, there was R&D, research and development. There was a lot of work. There's paying salaries for developers. There's all of these things that they've done. Yes, they created the token, and people just assume, oh, it was out of thin air, and so it didn't cost them anything. So here is my thought. If it didn't cost anything for them to get where they are today, for him to be able to give 50 million XRP to this company to begin, right? Then we can all do it. Do you see what I'm saying? Whoever is writing comments like that should just go out and let it cost them nothing, create a token, right? And one day just donate whatever. Because when you say things like that, and this is one of the reasons, big reasons, I believe people's attitude to wealth and money for other people, just because somebody is wealthy, and there's that jealousy that rises. Again, if someone is a government official, like a politician, and they steal money, right? It still costs them something. And if they get found out, they might end up going to jail, right? Depending on whatever system they're in, they will be penalized for it. So it does cost something one way or the other, whether you look at it on this side or on the other side. But I was not part of Ripple. I've never been, I don't know Chris Larsen personally. I'm not defending him. No, I'm not someone may say, well, why are you defending the rich? The question is, why do people hate rich people so much? I don't pay attention to them. They're doing what they're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. So what I do is I believe that we should watch the movement of money in society. so that we can take some of it, right, with the skills that we have, and then use whatever comes to us and invest out of it. You see, one of the books that really helped me early on in life was Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by what's his name, Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki, right? And a whole lot of other books that I read. I read books on real estate. I read books on self-improvement, management books. I read lots of books in my younger days, and I still read books today. So it's actually one of my favorite things to do when I'm flying. I like to find a book, download it and read as ebooks. I like physical books, but the reality is that it's easier to download an ebook and just enjoy it, make notes and things like that. And one of the things I've learned is, learning never stops. Nobody knows it all, and so I just, again, I don't know. But my personal opinion is this: it's important for people to stop judging others and this envy. Now, I don't think we can stamp it all out of life because it's part of human development, right? But when we catch ourselves doing things like that, we should ask ourselves a question. I mean, is what I'm saying, does it make sense? So I call it thoughtless criticism. Thoughtless, because there's thoughtful criticism, but it's thoughtless when somebody just bashes another person because they are wealthy and just assumes that it didn't cost them anything to get where they are. I think it cost them something. I think they've made investment. I think they've hired staff. I believe that they've done research and development. It costs money to advertise. It costs money to do a lot of these things, to pay people at a high level to make sure they keep your secrets and nobody pawns them off your hands. It costs money, right? So just saying, oh, that didn't cost anything. Well, if that's the case, then I just go out and make my own token and just not cost me anything and just spend on groceries and buy a brand new house, multi-million-dollar yacht and just live my life well, because it does cost nothing. So for me, I've always said, if you have a little boat and it's, at the dock and you have a catamaran or some yacht sitting by, you see, when the water rises, all the boats will rise. Mine will also rise. And that's one principle I want to hold on to, rather than, just slamming people because I feel that, for some reason. And again, it's an attitude of feeling better than the other person. And people think, oh, if I had his money, I'll do better. How do you know that? Like, how do you know that if you were the one in his shoes, you would do better? And again, not defending anybody. I'm just saying that it just kind of wears me out when I read those kind of comments. Of course, I come back and get refreshed, but it's just kind of, again, but that's life. You'll see all of that. But I'm hoping that if you are listening to me or watching me and you're one of those people who's like, oh, it didn't cost him anything. It's not reasonable to say that because you were not there. You don't know the sacrifices they made and all of the lawsuits and all of the things they have to go through to be where they are today. We don't know that. So watch the movement of money, see what people are doing in society. Scripture says money answers all things. And then you can take your little one, if that's what you have, and put into the flow, and I think you'll be fine. Well, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.